thinkdrive 1.5 is the latest incarnation of thinkdrive from ITC Publications. thinkdrive 1.5 is web-based. It's also available from the iTunes App Store, which means you can use it on iPads, mobile devices, tablets, laptops, PCs and Macs. It's the best way to implement higher order thinking skills into your classroom or workplace. So this is the landing page for thinkdrive 1.5. Which is all the usual information on the front. And information about the product, about ITC itself, frequently asked questions, which is very important to have a look at. For if you purchase thinkdrive, you'll need to know exactly how to set it up, what it costs, how to run it across your devices in the college or your school, etc. So once you've purchased your license for thinkdrive, you can sign in. And here is the main interface. You notice that all levels of Bloom's taxonomy are represented here. The foundation thinking levels and the higher order thinking levels as well. And they are color coded. When you hover over the level, for example, evaluate, you'll see that on the left hand side you'll have an overview of what's inside that tool. Down here we have the cooperative thinking strategies. So if I click on that, it will take me across to the strategies here, and in this section it consists of videos so that the teacher can show the students how these strategies work. If I go back to the home page, I'm going to have a look over here. I've got a Bloom's taxonomy video that I can watch, and that plays inside of the browser, and you can click on this button here to go full screen. You've got the ITC Thinking Skills poster that most teachers have in their classroom. Very popular item. But let's get into the actual content. If I click on the Analyze level, I can see on the left hand side I've got double bubble maps, fishbone diagrams, etc. that I can use. These are the strategies that I can use to implement this level of thinking in the classroom. I'm going to focus on the fishbone diagram today, and you see that it defaults to student, but I can toggle across to teacher as well. The content changes according to which mode I choose. You'll note here that the student mode has a video that can be watched, all about fishbone diagram as well. I'll go back to the teacher mode, and we'll start to talk about how I can use these strategies and tools in my classroom. Now if I click on the information button here, you'll see that down the bottom of the screen you'll see a thumbnail of that information and a download button. When I click on the download button, it asks me to save a folder, which I will. If I open that, you'll be shown a PDF document. And this very clearly sets out what a fishbone diagram actually is. So there's a general information section about a fishbone diagram. And then over on the left hand side here, we've got these numbered boxes which relate directly to numbers on the actual diagram. So for example, the step 1, draw a fishbone diagram. We're going to use a writable template in this situation, and we're going to write the topic along the spine of the fish, which is right in the middle of the diagram. Step 2 says to label the categories along the large bones, and then step 3 says to add details along the smaller bones, and they're clearly set out on this diagram and labelled. Now I can also look at a primary example or a secondary example of those fishbone diagrams. Click on the secondary example, and you'll see again a thumbnail and a download button. So you can see in this example it's got filled in information as per you'd be doing in the classroom. So in the center here we've got the topic, along the large bone we've got the category, which is plot lines, and along these smaller bones we've got the information. You can see that in this example it's just a great way of setting out information, categorizing it, rather than just writing paragraphs and paragraphs of information. You can set it out in dot point form. And lastly, we've got the writable templates. So if I click on writable template, thumbnail appears down here, click on download. So inside my writable template you can see I've got fields. They're highlighted when I hover over them, and very easily I can write in the information to these fields. The interesting thing is here, when I click on the tab button, it goes to the very next field that needs to be populated. So again, once I've filled that in, I press tab, it will go to the next large bone, and I can proceed now to fill in those 6 bones with the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So I've filled those levels in. I'm currently in the design level, and if I press the tab button, it's going to go straight back up the top here to the small bone in the remember section. So now, once I've categorized the main topics of Bloom's taxonomy levels, which are of course the actual levels, I can then go in and I can add information about each one of those levels. So as you can see, I can write my information in and press tab, it goes on to the next field, and I can add up to 5 pieces of information there. One great thing about the writable template is that every time you save that writable template and open it up again, it will enable you to write straight back into those fields. The bottom left hand corner you have your account button, so you can go in and check out all your information, your subscription, etc., and a contact button that enables you to contact ITC. Overall, thinkdrive is a fantastic looking product. Very, very simple to use, very easy to navigate, lots of great resources there available at your fingertips, again across any type of device that you might have personally or at your school. Implementing thinkdrive into your classroom will guarantee that higher order thinking skills are being catered for, not only in the planning, researching process, but also in the reflection process as well.